أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي رب زدني علما اللهم إني أسألك علما نافعا ورزقا طيبا وعملا متقبلا. So welcome to our new episode. Today we are going to learn about Makharij al-Huroof. Makharij means the emission point or the articulation points of the letters. In the last episode, we have gone through the little bit of the pronunciation of the letters. Today, we are going to go deeper into few of the letters' articulation points. So, according to the Tajweed rules, there are 5 articulation points which are known as Makharij al-Huroof. So, the first group of letters are being articulated from the throat, which are known as Huroof Halqi. Few of them are being articulated with the help of a tongue, which are known as Huroof al-Lisan. Few are Huroof al-Shafatan, in which our two lips are involved. Few of them, they are pronounced by the empty space in the mouth, which are known as Huroof al-Jawf. And few of them can be uttered from the nose, which are known as Huroof al-Khushum. So today we are going to focus on Huroof Halaqi. So these are the throat letters, and there are 3 articulation points, and there are 6 letters involved in the Huroof Halaqi. Now the areas of Huroof Halaqi are divided into 3, which the first one is known as Adna Halaq. Adna Halaq is the part of the throat which is very much adjacent to the end part of our tongue. So where our tongue ends, the part of that throat, top part of the throat starts, and that's the point from where we pronounce kha and gha, kha and gha. You can very nicely feel when you say kha and gha, kha and gha. Few times if you have done the goggling as well, so when you goggle, so you hear the sound of and that is the point which is known as Adna al-Halaq. Now the second part of the throat is middle of the throat, which is called Wast al-Halaq in Arabic, and there are 2 letters which are ha and a. Ha, a. These are the 2 letters which are pronounced from the middle of the throat, and if you put your finger on the middle of your throat, you would feel movement in ha and a, ha and a. If you feel like the movement is done, this means you are pronouncing it really very good, as Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, A'udhu, A'udhu. So these are the letters which are, these are the words which are pronounced with the letters ha and a. Now the bottom of the throat involves 2 letters which are hamza and ha. The bottom of the throat, it touches, it's the area which involves the bottom part of our throat and the upper part of our chest. So we can say it Aqsal Halaq, which is the bottom of the throat. And how do we pronounce these letters? Is a and h, a, h, a, h. When you pronounce this h, you would feel like your chest is filled with h. So you can very nicely identify how to say ha and how to say h. Now when you are revising or reciting the Quran, or you are revising your du'as, you have to be very particular in pronouncing these letters which are ha and h. You can see that the articulation points are very totally different while we are reciting. So we have to be very careful because the meaning changes if we are not pronouncing the letters from the correct makhraj. Now comes Huroof al-Lisan, which are the tongue letters. So there are few parts and the areas of the tongue which are involved in pronouncing these letters. So Huroof al-Lisan are the first, these are known as Huroof al-Lisan, and the first part of the tongue is the deepest area of the tongue, which is known as Aqsa al-Lisan. and it is very, very adjacent to the part of our throat, the upper part of the throat, from where our throat starts, is the end of our tongue. And which are the two letters? These are qaf and ka. Qaf, qa, 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 qa. This is the end part, the very deepest part of our tongue, which we feel like when our tongue, the end part of our tongue, just touches the upper part of our throat. So this qa is pronounced, and it's a heavy letter. So if we come a little further forward to our tongue, front of the tongue, so that's the area where we are pronouncing k, k, k. So qa, k, qa, k, qa, k. So these are the very different sounds and very different pronunciations of these huroof, which we have to be very careful while we are reciting the du'as or we are reciting Quran. Then comes the middle part, middle area of the tongue, which is known as wast al-lisan. And in wast al-lisan, jim, sheen and ya are the letters which are involved. If you feel like jim, sheen, ya, our the tongue is a little bit twisted, and there's a gap in our mouth from which we are uttering these letters, and the tongue is involved in pronouncing these letters: jim, sheen, ya, jim. So there's a twist or little bit action of our tongue when we pronounce these letters. The next area of the tongue is hafat al-lisan, which are the edges of the tongue, and with the letters dod and lam. Dod and lam are the letters which are uttered from these edges of the tongue. Now, edges of the tongue are the tongue which, when you feel like, when you pronounce these letters dod, dod, you will feel our two edges of the tongue expands and it touches the upper jaw, the both jaws of our mouth. So that is the articulation or the makharij of dod, 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 dod. And lam, lam, lam. When you pronounce lam, you will feel like your tongue, the edges of your tongue are touching up your upper jaws, and the tip of your tongue is also moving. Now the other area is called tarful lisan, which are the tip of the tongue. There are several letters which are uttered by the tip of the tongue, which are noon, ra, ta, dal, ta, sad, za, sin, ra, the, tha. It's a little movement of our tongue with the direction of our mouth when these letters are uttered. Inshallah, in the next videos, we will be learning about the sounds, and we will be learning about the sifat of these letters, the qualities of these letters, which are heavy or lighter, which is the exact makharij of this letter, and how what is the difference in between. For now, today we can just focus on dal and tha. Dal, if you take the tip of the tongue and you touch on your two front teeth and you are pronouncing the dhalikal kitabu. Dhalikal kitabu is very, very different than pronouncing za. Z is the sound which doesn't touch our teeth, and it's a little sound of a whistle. It gives the sound of a whistle, z, z, and it's a heavy letter. Whereas dal is a light letter, and which involves our tip of a tongue, which when it touches to the front two teeth. And similarly, tha is the tha. Tha is also when the tip of our tongue touches to the front two teeth. And this is very, very different than pronouncing seen. Similarly, like za, seen is also a letter which has a whistling sound. So inshallah, we'll be learning about the sounds as well For now today, this is the lesson. Inshallah, we'll be discussing about more makharij in the upcoming lessons. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.